Right, so the president of the FIA, Mohammed bin Sulayem, good friend here on the F1 Chronicle.com, he is confirming that there are more race directors and stewards for 2025. Of course, Johnny Herbert was sacked before the season started, so naturally some people would have to come in to replace him. I mean, the whole role of stewards and race directors has been very controversial. There's been a lot of sackings, a lot of people being changed, being sacked by text apparently as well by MBS to those people. So let's have a look at what's going on here, guys, because whenever the FIA comes up, I do like to dissect what they're saying and doing. So let's have a look. Full article on the F1Chronicle.com as always. There will be more than a single race director and a bigger pool of potential stewards in Formula 1 this year. That's the news from controversial FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem, who at an event in Madrid defended the recent turmoil at the sport's governing bodies as the result of the need to clean house. Oh, goodness me. In the specialist Spanish media, he defended the latest outrage about draconian penalties for driver misconduct such as swearing, insisting if they can control an F1 car, they can control their words. Right, nice. Another major controversy occurred at the very end of the 2024 World Championship when race director Niels Wittich was suddenly ousted. It put a huge amount of pressure on his temporary replacement, Rui Marquez, who has also had to manage his original race director duties for Formula 3 and Formula 2. And I think at that time he had to do F1 and F2 as well in the same weekend. That's a lot. We need new blood among the officials to sustain the business of motorsport, FIA President bin Sulayem said. He revealed that there will be more than just a single race director in 2025. We will know in the next few days who that will be and how many will be used, said the 63-year-old. But there will certainly be new faces and there will be more than one. That is for sure. There have been people learning, people working behind the scenes all the time. You cannot simply throw someone into this great challenge. Oh, like you did with Marquez last season. Yeah, you can't do that, can you? He said that he is not particularly interested in what teams and drivers think of them. Well, at least he's honest. The FIA is still the owner of the championship, he insisted. And then, the teams can complain, the drivers can complain, but they don't want to pay for it. It's taken us more than 2.5 years to get what we're achieving now. Do we have the results? We'll know in the future what these results will be when the season starts. There are some mistakes, and then the FIA is blamed. But why can't the criticism be productive instead? Saying together, how can we find a solution? I tell you, the solution is training, and solution is about bringing people in. This is coming from a guy who has effectively made it potentially illegal to complain and criticize. The FIA criticism law. Has he forgot about that? He literally put that in. Finally, back on the issue of swearing in Formula 1, bin Sulayem admitted that one idea is simply to go ahead with the switch off of the radios to the broadcasters. Or do we delay the transmissions, he said? Maybe. There are many things we are working on with our promoter. Yeah, well, right. I mean, so for the most part, I did say this recently in a video, or in a comment, I think, to a video. The transmission for race radio is delayed to the TV feed. So that's why when someone swears on the team radio, it's bleeped out. Now, there are ways to get this live. If you're on F1 TV or if you're on one of the red button services or whatever the equivalent is around the world, basically where you can get extra views and extra audio feeds, that is broadcast live, I do believe. I've never used it personally, but that is broadcast live, I believe. So you can hear swearing through that during the races. And of course, there have been incidents where live press conferences have been had swearing in too, although they could just do the thing of having it on a slight delay. I don't think that would really be harmful, to be honest, and just do what they do on radio where they just dump the audio for a bit. It's fair enough, really. I think that could do it. But this honestly, it just makes me laugh. Like, the guy says, oh, this criticism, why can't we have constructive criticism here? You've banned people from criticizing the FIA. There is now a rule that says if you criticize the FIA, you can be punished. So what do you want? You can't take people's protest right to protest away and then criticize them for doing what you told them to do. But getting on the topic of the article, I don't think personally it's a bad thing necessarily to have more than one race director, because the F1 calendar is 24 races crisscrossing the globe. It's a very difficult thing to be. Now, of course, the downside to this is the consistency. That is undeniable, that there could be inconsistent decisions from the race race director. Now, and again, just so people are aware, the race director is not the stewards. The stewards make decisions on penalties and race notes and stuff like that. They are kind of like the people who define what happens when it comes to that, right? The race director is basically race control, putting out yellow flags, red flags, virtual safety car, where we need to go through the pit lane, any kind of danger on track, things like that, right? They do that. So having more than one of them, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. Although the reason why we'll have more than one of them is because Wittich was sacked. Even though the FIA said that he resigned, but Wittich has come out and said that he was sacked. I think, was he the one that was sacked via text as well? I know one of them was. I mean, the clean house expression as well is very, very poignant, I would say, when it comes to this too, because he's very much cleaned house. He has cleaned the house spotless. There is nobody there, or there will soon be nobody there, that is not a yes person, not a yes man or a yes woman, doing whatever he says, who are firmly in his pocket. He's got rid of anybody who has got rid of, kind of expressed any kind of dissent towards his rule as FIA president. And this is going to continue because everybody's saying that he's going to run unopposed and win the next election and become the FIA president for another term, which is like 4 or 5 years. I think it's a long time. So I love Formula One, but I hate the people running it right now. The FIA are just beyond a joke. I've said they're a joke. They're beyond a joke. And I still feel like we've not heard the worst of it. Just wait till the GPDA make another statement about these laws, these rules, which will happen soon. I'd be surprised if it doesn't happen before the first race in Australia. They'll meet at the testing thing in Bahrain, and then they'll go to Australia and get that statement. When all the eyeballs of the world are on the first Formula One race of the season, the GPDA will release that at a time when is very appropriate and do the most damage. A bit like what happened. I'm not making the GPDA out to do anything wrong here. They're absolutely doing the right thing if they do that. They want to get as much exposure as possible, and almost ruining the FIA's first race, and from their perspective anyway. I feel like that'd be a great time to do it. We'll see what happens, guys. But for now, the people inside Formula One can't criticize the FIA. I can. I will happily do that for you guys, but they can't from inside the sport, and that's very dangerous for a number of reasons, and I'm not going to get into that here because that would be too long. But yeah, if you're not allowed to criticize the FIA, this could have massive ramifications for the sport. It can and will change how things are done in Formula One, and not for the better. But those are my thoughts, guys. Let us know in the comments below as always, and we'll see you very soon for some more F1 content right here on the F1Chronicle.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always. Have a good one, guys. See you very soon.